With the new Warbond pass, I took an all explosives loadout in a Helldive. At first I thought this would suck, but oh man was I wrong. I equipped the explosive crossbow, the grenade pistol with these stratagems, and I'm ready to die. Helldive we go. Your loadout is only as good as you. The martyr excels at taking on huge clusters of enemies. You're like a walking cluster bomb, slinging bolts and thumping nades, turning all bug breaches into a kill streak. I used the eruptor with this build, and well, I don't recommend it. But the explosive crossbow is perfect for this mayhem. You get 5 shots with a crazy AoE. Clusters of enemies are going limp when you fire it in the middle. With a little bit of practice and skill, keeping your distance and slinging bolts, so fun against the Terminids. Surprisingly effective against bots. For the secondary, you have 2 options. You have the crazy option, which is the grenade pistol. However, it is extremely dangerous. When a hunter jumps across the planet to hit you and you pull this thing out as a backup, you're gonna probably blow yourself up. So bring if you wanna go full martyr mode. But if you want a safer, more reliable alternative, go with the Redeemer. For the grenade, any explosives you want, but I personally take the impact grenades. The impact grenades are perfect for whipping out and keeping the explosives running, having another alternative to take out clusters of enemies, and to close bug holes. The armor set I'm using this armor set, but you could use any light explosive resistance armor set. The reason we're using light is so you could sprint away from enemies faster, turn around, and pummel them with explosives. You don't want to get caught lacking up close shooting these grenades and blow yourself up. But if you do, that's what Marty would want. I'm throwing on this helmet because it looks goofy and I look deranged. For the cape, Agent of Oblivion, because everything you see is getting blown to oblivion, including you. And the player card, Martyrus Rex. Perfect. Getting into stratagems, we're taking the biggest explosive in the game, the 500 kg bomb. This is going to be your anti-Bile Titan stratagem. And when you get good at timing Bile Titans and positioning your 500 kg for the one shot, this is going to take care of any of the big enemies. For our carry stratagems, the grenade launcher. The grenade launcher has been one of my favorite weapons in the game since launch. It's elite at taking on hordes of enemies, whether it be hive guards, bile spewers, hunter clusters, or any enemy on a bug breach. The grenade launcher is that weapon you pull out when it's hitting the fan. I can't tell you how many times I've saved teammates running away from a horde of bugs and I'm just thumping near them, blowing up everything around them, and they hit me with a thanks. To maximize its effectiveness, don't just go blowing your load when you see a bunch of enemies. Pace your shots. Systematically dissect where you can get the maximum effectiveness of each grenade. Closing bug holes is obviously going to be no problem. You see a bug hole, you don't even need to wait for the team. You just charge straight in, sitting on the outside, long shot in any holes you have access to, then charging in and blowing up the ones that you couldn't see on the outside. Our second carry stratagem is going to be the ammo backpack. Supremely underrated backpack. This is going to keep our grenade launcher supplied so we can pretty much use it as a primary. The ammo backpack also resupplies you with not only ammo, but stims as well. So you only want to pick from the backpack if you have no access to ammo boxes near you, you're running severely low on ammo, or you have absolutely no stims and you need to use it to resupply. On PS5, you click the down directional button to resupply. And if you don't want to be too stingy, go ahead and drop your teammates some ammo as well. Now for our Sentry, we're bringing everybody's favorite Sentry, the Mortar Sentry. The Mortar Sentry is really good when you throw it on an objective that you guys are defending or defending an extraction. And with your explosives build, and if your team's good enough to keep the enemies back, it's nonstop mayhem and it's a wonderful, beautiful thing to see. Now the first game using this loadout with the Mortar Sentry, I threw it down and it pretty much immediately blew up one of my teammates. And then he proceeded to cuss me out in the chat. So if you want to go with something way less dangerous, you could take the autocannon Sentry, or you could take the rocket Sentry, or swap out the Sentry entirely for another airstrike or an orbital. Mastery with this loadout comes from keeping a good distance away from enemies and getting used to the explosive radius and shots of your weapons. When using the explosive crossbow, and enemies are too close for you to shoot, what you want to shoot is behind them or right next to them at an appropriate distance so that you don't ragdoll yourself. Do not underestimate the radius of the explosive crossbow. It is really good and it deals a good amount of damage even with not a direct hit to small enemies. You do want to be precise when you hit hive guards though. I've been facing a lot where hive guards are bugging out and they turn into a charger and a hunter all in one, chasing you around the map endlessly until they hit you with a 5-hit combo. So if you turn around with the explosive crossbow, pop them in the head for a good stun and keep hitting them until they die. You can only refill your backpack when all your other guns are fully loaded. I found myself getting confused when all my guns were loaded and I'm picking up ammo boxes and it's not going into my backpack. Your guns must be fully loaded before you can restock your supply backpack. When using this loadout in tandem, you are the Democracy Detonator, the Bug Breach Bomber, the Bug Hole Obliterator. You are Marty the Martyr.
Get some! Get some!